Welcome back to another episode of This Chapter Rewritten. Today we're talking about the red flags that you don't even notice because you're too busy trying to make the relationship work. These aren't the obvious ones. These are the quiet ones that you feel in your body before you can explain them in your mind. And this doesn't happen because we're stupid or blind. It just happens because we're human. And when you want something to work, your brain is going to protect you from the truth until you're ready to see it. But I really want to help women to be able to recognize these signs sooner rather than later, to be in touch with themselves so that they can trust what their body is trying to tell them, so that you're able to make informed decisions and feel confident about them. Because when you really want love and connection, it's very easy to ignore what's right in front of you. So today we're going to break down 5 subtle signs that women tend to ignore, particularly early on in a relationship. We're going to talk about how these red flags look from the outside, why we miss them when we're in love, and most importantly, how recognizing them can help save your peace, your confidence, and your self-respect. Because lingering in these types of relationships can be very detrimental to your feelings of self-worth and can easily damage your confidence. It can be much more difficult to heal from these relationships if we stay in them for a long time than it would be if we recognize the signs early on and move on with our confidence and self-worth intact. And that way you're ready for the kind of relationship that you really want and that you really deserve. Before we dive in, here's a quick word from our sponsor, Rakuten. When you shop online with Rakuten, you earn cash back at stores like Lululemon, Sephora, American Eagle, and so many more. What's better than earning cash on purchases you were going to make anyway? Use the link in the show notes to earn a bonus $30 and start earning cash back today. All right, let's get started with number 1. You find yourself constantly justifying or defending his behavior to others. Women tend to make excuses because they're holding on to potential. We're trying to protect the version of the relationship that we wish actually existed. If you're constantly rewording or adjusting things that he has said, or sort of repackaging his behavior in order to make it sound better, that's not you being loyal to him. That's you in denial. Think about how many times you've said something like, he didn't mean it like that, or you just didn't understand, or you don't know him like I do. If you're doing that often, it's a pretty big sign that the relationship is not as healthy as it should be. You should really ask yourself why you feel such a strong need to protect him. And be completely honest with yourself about why you are not able to be honest with people in your life about things that he's doing and saying. What is it that you're afraid of them thinking or finding out? Because that will really tell you a lot if you're able to be honest with yourself about it. I know that I have personally found myself doing this, that I didn't want to be honest about things, and I told myself that it was because they wouldn't understand or they weren't there in the moment, so they could very easily get the wrong idea about it. But the truth is that I knew they would see through it. I knew that they would see the truth, and I wasn't ready to face the truth. So I kept secrets instead. And that really felt awful because I knew deep down that not only was I lying to my friends and my family, but I was lying to myself. Number 2, your energy changes around them. If you're feeling anxious instead of calm, or hyper alert instead of relaxed, if you feel like you're auditioning or in an interview instead of just being yourself, these are some key signs that your body is noticing signs before your mind is. Because we often do feel things in our body before we recognize them in our mind. So it's important to pay attention to these energy shifts when you're around someone. So for example, if you notice that when he's texting you, your heart's racing, but then when he's quiet, you're all of a sudden questioning everything, That's really something to pay attention to. You should feel calm, safe, and secure in the relationship, even in his absence. It's very natural for somebody to be on your mind when you're excited about them, but it is not natural for them to be weighing heavy on your mind. If there's a worry that's draining you, or if you feel that stomach churning anxiety, that's not a good sign. Number 3, your friends and family don't like him and you feel defensive about it. Because here's the thing, the people on the outside are going to notice those little micro shifts in your mood when you're around him. They will notice how you're dimming yourself, even if it's just a little bit. They're noticing those little behaviors that you're trying to normalize. And sometimes you might even try to make excuses for it, like that they're jealous or just being dramatic or overreacting. But what they're really noticing is that little parts of you are literally disappearing. The parts that you're too close to the relationship to see. I've had people point things out like this when I've been in toxic relationships, and I thought they were delusional. I did not want to see what they were seeing. It felt easier at the time to lie to myself than to see the truth, but it only prolonged the inevitable. It only increased the heartbreak. Number 4, you feel relieved when they're being good. This is a major sign of emotional inconsistency. This can feel small, so we ignore it and we tell ourselves, of course, we're happy when they're being good. But that's also where the shift comes in, right? If you're feeling relief about that, that's a strange feeling. You shouldn't feel relief because they're being good. They should consistently be being good in the relationship. But we get addicted to that inconsistency and we start to live for the days that they show up and treat us well. You wait all week for one text or one date or even one moment that they show you that they care about you. But they should be showing you that every day. Consistency should feel normal, not like a reward that you're getting here and there, because in a healthy relationship, good days should be the norm. Yes, there's ups and downs in a relationship, but there should be more ups than downs. It should be normal that they're being good to you, that they're being respectful and kind and showing you love every day. Number 5, you're always hoping that they will change. You're always hoping that the relationship is going to get better. And this is the quiet heartbreak that we don't want to talk about because you're not dating reality. You're dating a potential. You're more committed to his potential than you are to his present reality. And the thing is that hope isn't a replacement for bad behavior. You don't want to spend the rest of your life waiting to be treated the way that you deserve to be treated. And inconsistency only becomes more and more inconsistent over time. Those days when they're being good to you will become further and further apart. So you need to watch for being more committed to the future than they are to the present, because that's not a relationship. It's just wishful thinking. And as heartbreaking as it is to admit, hoping that someone is going to change is really more about a fear of being alone than it is about love. We don't ignore red flags because we're weak. It's just because we're hopeful. But we don't want to allow hope to cost us our peace. These red flags aren't a failure on your part. They're signals that your peace and your confidence and your happiness might be at risk. And while ignoring them comes from hope, listening to them comes from self-respect. You deserve to be happy. You already have everything that you need in order to recognize the signs to protect your peace. You just need to be willing to open your eyes and see the truth. A healthy relationship is never going to require you to lie to yourself or to make up excuses for the other person, or to wait for someone to be the person that they promised they would be, or the person that they were for a short while in the beginning of the relationship. If this episode resonated with you, if it hit close to home, share it with somebody that you love. Send it to a woman who needs a reminder that she deserves better. And if you're enjoying this podcast, it would mean the world to me if you would like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is that your app asks for, and leave a quick comment or review. It helps me to reach more women that need these conversations. Until next time, choose the life that you want, not the one that you've been tolerating.